Draft Chaff. Coming up this week, how about we hop into our... I keep saying
I was going to say, we keep getting back on hop, man. We got to get out of here.
I don't know. It doesn't
Ben
hurt.
just wants to crush people at pre-release.
No.
Oreo-flavored Coke Zero.
Wow.
Dude, I got to say...
That is insane.
So good.
What's up, Chef aficionados? Welcome back to Draft Chaff. I'm Ben, one of your hosts, coming at you live. Joining me is Tyler. How's your week going, dude?
Oh, it's doing good, man. I can't believe we're here already. The format farewell for Bloomburrow. Didn't we just get this set? Didn't we just start?
This might be the least amount of time between a format breakdown and a format farewell. At least that's how it feels to me. There were some other things going on in between, but
no, I agree.
We barely got to play with these bunnies and such, right?
I was on Arena today, and I was looking at the mastery set, like whatever for the set, and I'm like, there's like 10 days left. I'm like, what happened? Where are we right now? I gotta finish that.
Flies. Before we get into our format farewell to our beloved Bloomburrow bunnies and such, some intro reminders. Hop in Discord if you're not already there. Hop on over to Discord like a frog or a bunny, or birds can hop too, right?
Birds hop,
Birds hop all the time. Yeah. I guess everything hops. Maybe. Hop on over to Discord like whatever animal your persona desires, and join there, because we have a whole lot of good discussions about spoilers going on. You can expect people to be posting their best trophy decks from day one of pre-release of Duskmorn, and then including the weeks after as it goes up on Arena. Patrons, thank you. Y'all are the best. I actually have just gotten in our beautiful stickers.
Phenomenal stickers.
Yeah, I'm holding them up. Those watching, all right, it's not gonna...
I was gonna say that you're not doing it justice here.
I'm really not, but they look awesome. I'm holding it up. Those watching on Spotify video or YouTube, you can see these. Listeners, you gotta see those in Discord too. Check them out. They're great stickers to your patrons. You can expect those. By the way, that counts up until we give out a new Draft Chaff hero. So if you want to get this guy, you just gotta sign up. By the way, our YouTube channel still popping off. Multiple drafts uploaded every week. This is kind of that weird in between where no one's super interested in watching the current draft. Maybe we'll fire like a Dominaria or something. Dominaria United is out right now, which is maybe it's in my top 3 of all time. I love Dominaria United. So I don't know if I can convince Tyler, maybe we'll do one of those.
I'd rather do another DMU than another Dominaria. I never did the original Dominaria, so I felt so useless in that draft.
Yeah. Why don't we hop right into a crack-a-draft type thing? Today, I've got this big box of MH3 here, and they're just calling my name. It's open. They're right in front of me.
You just want to open these packs, Ben. That's what it really comes down to. You started cracking them before we even started recording today.
There's no video evidence to support that, unless you watch the Patreon pre-show. Oh, man. I'm only doing... I have the 4 boxes that I won. I'm only doing this for 1. The other 3 I'm going to save for drafting or selling or something. But we were looking at the price guide. I mean, Ocelot Pride, some of the treatments of that thing are like $70. That's...
Well, yeah, we were looking. The borderless foil version is more expensive than a box of MH3.
Which
is
nuts.
Insane.
Yeah. Our first card out here is not insane. It's Fetid Gargantua, the 5-mana 4/4 with Adapt, draws cards. I liked this as like a one of top end in like black green or white black. If you had ways to place counters like Wither and Bloom, that was a nice package. Just some late game value. Hex Gold Slith. I love this card. A lot of people hated it, and the later we went in the format, the more I started to see why. Sometimes it just couldn't connect, and then it's just doing nothing.
No, it felt really good early game. Yeah, especially in those Abzan counter decks. Felt really nice.
Fanged Flames, solid removal spell. The Exile clause came up a lot. Yeah.
No, yeah, good card.
Aether Spike, the blue energy counter spell. That's pretty good. It always is just going to be 2 mana, counter pretty much anything if you're in the energy deck. I just... Something about this card that really strikes me. First of all, the art, gorgeous. Second of all, the fact that it asks you to interact with yet another resource. And I was talking to a friend at school today, another teacher who hasn't played much of the more recent sets, but she's played Magic for ages. And I was telling her about the new energy cards from MH3. And she's like, wait, they added another resource? I'm like, yep. She's like, doesn't Aren't there too many as is? Did they make a new card type too recently? Did they do anything with that? And I'm like, nope. They didn't. Oh man. Nightshade Dryad is up next. I love this guy.
Which one is this one again? Is this the token?
This is the 2-mana 1/2 Death Toucher. That's a mana dork. Taps for colorless or mana of any color.
Yes. It's a pretty solid pack so far, I gotta say, though. These are all fairly playables.
Yeah. Cyclops Superconductor. That was the blue-red common that when it died, you could pay 3 energy, have it deal damage to its power. The thing was whatever.
It was fine, yeah. Good in the energy decks, but no game breaker.
Yeah. Reckless Pyro Surfer is next out. That was the 2-mana 2/2 haste landfall battle cry thing. Kind of cool design.
No, I agree. I'm liking this pack a lot.
Yeah, this is good. This one might be a whiff. Lion Umbra, green for 3/3. I mean, if you're playing modified, if you're in like a white green, if you have like the dog.
I was gonna say this is the best dog target. This card because you're getting a 6/6, and it's just like turn 3.
That is pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another brutal one. This is a good pack. Hope Ender Coatl, the 3-mana 2/2 flash flying mana tide something.
Yeah. No, I'm liking this pack a lot. God, I miss MH3.
Me too. Razorgrass Ambush. That was the DFC, the flip land, the white one that deals 3 to an attacking or blocking creature. You know what? Maybe we should just save the rest of these and draft for them. I don't know. Priest of Titania, the elf tapper.
This is a weird card for this set. This is like one of those cards like, why is this here?
Yeah. And not a bad open at all. We've got a Polluted Delta. The
nice.
Fetch.
Very good. Okay.
I'll never complain about getting an extra Polluted Delta in my collection. That's,
definitely. Not the best draft card, but a great card overall.
Yeah. Actually, here's a great draft card. Worm Coil Larva.
Oh,
the 5-mana 3/3 baby Worm Coil. Yeah.
What are you taking from this?
Yeah, not well in paper. I think the Polluted Delta every time.
No, I agree. Yeah.
On arena or playing an arena open or something, actually pretty close. I don't think Polluted Delta is that nuts to take here.
Yeah, there's so much fixing in MH3. Yeah, with the common landscapes. I like Fanged Flame here a lot. That's like a card I'm always drawn towards.
Yeah, I agree. I would go with Fanged Flame. Also up in my pick order would be the Worm Coil Larva and the Nightshade Dryad. I think those black the black artifact vector could do a lot of my favorite stuff in the format. And I think the Fanged Flames is probably the smartest pick. It just keeps the most open. 2-mana deal 4 is a great rate. Yeah. Good pack.
Yeah, definitely. God, now I just want to play MH3 though. Can we just stop recording and just go play a little bit?
I mean, should I open another one?
No. Get away. Man.
Get away. Get that thing away from me. Oh man, I'm swearing off the pack racking. Except now I don't have enough for sealed, so now I just have to.
But now you have to open the rest of them. Yeah, that's kind of how it works, right?
You know what I'll do? I'm gonna save us 12 packs.
Okay.
And then at F&M this Friday, we can play like a little sealed.
I'm down.
We get dinner beforehand. We could just play sealed beforehand. A little bit of that.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, then I'm gonna crack all but 12 of those as soon as we finish recording. Oh man. How about we hop into our? I keep saying.
I was gonna say we keep getting back on hop, man. We got to get out of here.
Yeah. Let's go get spooked. It's time to say goodbye to Bloomburrow, which I think is going to become probably a fondly thought of set for the reasons that it was, albeit a simple set. Is that offensive to say?
No, I don't think that. And honestly, I think it's one of the great selling points of Bloomburrow, the simplicity of it. Like we had such a powerhouse with MH3 that we were able to kind of step back and kind of like, I don't know, felt like old school, kind of slow. I guess it wasn't really a slow set if we're looking at the 17 lands data, but like a low power set.
Yeah, there's no tricks. There's no traps. If you see a green-white bunny and you play a bunch of other green and white bunnies, the green-white bunny is going to do what it's supposed to do. It's very straightforward.
Yep. Yeah, this felt like a very like on-theme core set almost.
Yeah. Why don't we start giving away some Chaffy awards? It is the format farewell. It's time to award some of our favorite cards with Chaffies. First of all, we should give out a Chaffy for the most powerful card. Tyler, what do you got for that?
I was going to say, I think we agree on these a lot because usually we go off the 17 lands data for these this specific award. But for me, I have Valley Quest Collar listed. That's that one bunny that amplifies all your white cards that touch white. It also scries on ETB. It's just a great lord. It's probably the best Valley card in the set.
While this might not be like the number one card by win rate or anything like that, well, it is like top 5.
I was gonna say, I think it is the number one by win rate.
I'm sure I bet it's opening hand win rate. Like, I'm sure that's number one because this thing costs 2 mana. It's one thing to have a bomb mythic that costs 5. I actually picked Season of Loss for mine because that thing could just bring you back or win games in ways that literally no other card could. My opponent proved that to me when they were dead to rights at the RCQ, and I lost playing for top 8 because they top decked their borderless foil full art.
And they had to flex on you too a little bit there.
And then drained me for exactly lethal, which was awesome. Still not thinking about that. That being said, that costs 5 mana. Some games you don't see your 4th land for a while. That just happens. You know what helps you see your 4th and then 5th and then no more lands? Valley Quest Caller.
Such a good card. It does everything. I feel like all the Valley cards are actually pretty solid in this. The black might be the worst, but like Valley Might Caller in green, the 1 mana 1/1 that pumps itself.
That thing's nasty.
Yeah, they're all pretty good, but I think Quest Caller is a clear winner here.
I never got to do the what is it, the red one, with the pinging combo.
Oh, I got to do that. Yes.
Mage oh, you did?
Yeah, Coruscation Mage, and then the one pinger that untaps with instant sorceries. You're just hitting them. You're shocking them, each time. So it's gross.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish I got to do that before the format ended, which
here we are.
Here we are.
All right, let's take a look now at the least powerful card. These are cards that are going to actively harm you if you draft them. What'd you go for with this one?
I went with Sylvan Tutor.
Ooh,
now,
okay.
This is a rare one because it's one of the special guests, so it doesn't come up that often, but I did have an opponent tutor using their Sylvan Tutor. Thing is, it puts the card on top of the library and not into hand.
Yeah, it's a sorcery speed too, right? Or is it instant speed? Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, that's just Modern Limited. You can't do that. Even if you get your number 1 bomb, kill spells can usually answer that these days. It's not like there's cards that are just stone cold unbeatable, unless you look at like Emrakul and MH3 or something. Even that, you could still lose somehow. Sylvan Tutor, I thought really just the issue was it looked like something that was really cool and flashy, but I think people probably didn't realize how negatively it was affecting them. I had an opponent mulligan and then cast Sylvan Tutor. I was like, awesome, a double mulligan.
Those special guest cards are so misleading, especially for newer players who are like, oh my god, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life with this borderless, special edition. Yeah. Sometimes they just don't do great in limited. I mean, we have Swords to Plowshare in this set too, right? So I mean, that would have been amazing to pull.
Yeah. My honorable mention for least powerful card was also Frogmite. I don't know why they were doing that with this.
You're against the special guests in this set, it sounds like.
Well, they just honestly think of the other ones. All the rats, they barely worked with the other rats. Like,
yeah, Relentless Rats is okay, but yeah, Ren just makes those, so it's like, why bother?
True. What was your pick?
So yeah, I had 2 for this one. I mean, I guess both of these feel bad too because Otter's kind of sucked in this format. So I had Wishing Well. I think was my number 1. This is that 4 mana artifact. Do I have to read the whole thing? Put a coin counter on Wishing Well. Yeah, you know it.
Please
it's
don't.
4 mana, do nothing really in this format.
Yeah.
And then similarly, I had Festival of Embers. It's kind of a 5 mana, do nothing. Like you can build around these cards, but Otters were already weak as they were. And if you're going to waste turn 4 or 5 playing these out, just put you so far behind.
We should get into our most annoying card. This is always a fun Chaffy. To whom will you award this?
I have a personal vendetta against Splash Lasher in this format.
Say more.
This is that I think it's a 3 mana that has Offspring, but when ETBs, you put a stun counter on something. The amount of games I lost to this, just them bouncing it back to hand with all the frog trickery and then recasting it late game.
Yeah.
I hate this card so much.
Yeah, that's a pretty brutal one to flicker.
Yeah, no further explanation. I just hate this card.
Fair enough. I was going for either Beza, the Mythic Elk, because that one had that sort of Dream Trawler quality to it where, sure, you were playing Magic before Beza was cast, but after Beza was cast, everything that happened prior just
resets.
Didn't mean anything. I've actually been seeing Beza really creep up in Standard, and I've been seeing people starting to play Beza in Pioneer too.
Oh wow!
I think this card is going to be a major player in Standard for the entire duration that it's legal. I'm probably going to snap up 4 copies and just.
I was going to say it's an elk, right? You need to have one of these.
I absolutely do. Another runner-up here is a Zur Beastbinder, the little 1/3 vigilance attacking guy. Remember that game we did in that YouTube with
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
yes, this card, like,
Yeah.
that guy had it out every turn, and he protected it with his life. He held up, what is it? Shore Up, like, so many cards just to protect it, and it does work.
Yeah.
All right. I'm so excited for this next one here. With best janky combo, and I think we both experienced some great fun with this card.
Yeah. This is an easy one. We're both slamming Builder's Talent every single time, and maybe we were so into Builder's Talent because it's sort of the only off vector, like weird non-creature typal synergy thing that you could do. Maybe we were just Stockholm into loving this guy, but Builder's Talent comboing with things like Carrot Cake, Heaped Harvest, Fountain Port Bell, Stocking the Pantry. They all just kind of worked with it. And then you play like 10 good creatures. And if you do it the way we did it, all 5 colors. But I also saw people playing just straight black-white. You can support all this stuff, or maybe even Obzon for like the counters things. Builder's Talent was maybe some of the most fun that I had playing this format.
I gotta agree. Yeah, the blue quest caller too, or not quest caller, the blue Valley card that lets you cast non-creature spells with flash. Yeah, this felt really fun to do.
What did you think the chaffiest chaff was? So a card that is great and limited. Like you'd happily slam this card when you see it, but it will likely never see play anywhere again.
So for me, I did a comment for this one, actually Pawn Profit, which
Oh,
yeah, I know it's not too crazy. It's just a 2-mana 1/1 ETB's draw card. You know, this is probably the cornerstone of all of the Frog decks. You know, I don't think this is going to see play anywhere else, but it did absolute work when you built it. I guess I just have a personal thing against Frog deck is really what I'm talking about, because between this and Splash Slasher. But yeah, Pawn Profit, love this card, does great things. I don't think it's going to see play anywhere else.
Yeah, even if you're building like a frog typal commander deck, I mean, there's probably enough frogs that at some point you're cutting them. And
yeah,
this thing just, you're probably cutting this at some point, right? Yeah, I put a Vren the Relentless. I thought this card was an absolute bomb. Slam it first pick if you could. Even blue not being that great. Like I think Vren with enough kill spells, enough like black targeted removal is splashable. It's just that good. Who is ever going to cast this card ever again outside of Bloomburrow draft?
Like, Commander players is probably it, but we touch everything.
Yeah.
Vren is the one card that I would splash in any deck I was probably building if I saw Vren, just because he was that good.
Yeah.
All right, next we got the whoops category. These are cards we kind of misjudged kind of going into this. What do you got for this one?
My Chaffy goes to Festival of Embers. This card was templated sort of like Experimental Frenzy was, with that weird you can blow it up clause. In hindsight, I don't even think it needed that. Like I think they were trying to tone it down maybe, because otherwise it'd be too good. They could have made like a weaker version of it and it would still have been garbage. This one I kind of expected to be some sort of late game blue-red. You draw it, you're like, I drew my Festival. I recast everything into my graveyard and triggered all my prowess stuff and then got it all back and like copied it and like, nope, it just does nothing.
No, it's a 5-mana do nothing.
Yeah.
For this one, I have Banishing Light. I don't know. This is a card I usually is pretty great, but in this format, I felt a little worse. I don't know. Nothing too crazy. I wasn't. I don't know. I'm an expert drafter, so every card I analyze is perfect, so I'm never wrong. No. For this one, I was having a hard time. Like I don't know. I feel like we did fairly well on guesstimating what was going to be pretty good. Banishing Light was one of the cards we had at white that I thought would be higher up just because of the versatility. But it didn't see too much play. I feel like there was enough removal and enough ways to kind of remove enchantments that this got worse late game.
Yeah, totally agree. Some incidental enchantment removal.
Yeah.
If they ever had like a Hivespine Wolverine or something like that, or like a Paw Patch formation.
Even the Nettle Guard. Man. Yeah, that 3/1 rat that you sacrifice. Yeah.
Totally blanked what should have been like an A tier removal spell, but this thing, it just didn't really. Yeah. Next up, we have our top drafted commons. So thanks to 17 lands, we can go in and see what cards we drafted the most of each set. Let us know in Discord what yours were. It's always fun to see these. It kind of gives you it's almost like a horoscope for different people's drafting sensibilities. Tyler, what do you got for yours?
So I have Druid of the Spade, Nettle Guard, and Crumb and Get It. So Druid of the Spade, I'm a little shocked to see because I didn't feel like I grabbed this card a ton. I feel like this is one of those cards that gets left over in the pack, and by the end of the pack, you're like, all right, let me just take this because I might play this.
Sometimes those creep up in the pick.
Yeah,
pick
definitely.
numbers.
Nettleguard is the card we were just talking about too. It's that 3/1. I played a lot of the mice deck, so I definitely took this one pretty highly. Same with Crumb and Get It, a great enabler in that vector.
Oh, you know what? Maybe Nettleguard could make its way into the cube. We do have a heroic vector.
It's got versatility too.
Yeah. My top one, I'm proud to say, was Baker's Bane duo. I had a ton of Baker's Bane duos. Uncharted Haven came next, so I guess maybe I was, I don't know, splashing too much or just taking that land highly. I valued it pretty high. And third, I had Corpseberry Cultivator. I think I may have been overdrafting green-black. In the early days when it was pretty open, yes. And then I think I may have overdrafted it a little past when people were fighting over it. So that one, I definitely wound up with some mediocre green-black decks with too many corpse berries and not enough ways to enable forage. Yeah,
Baker's Bane's a great card. I'm a little jealous that you had that as your number one.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one. Not gonna lie.
All right, up next we have the Chaffy for worst chaff to lose to. Oh boy,
Raccoon Rallier.
You hate this card, Ben. Why do you hate this card?
And this one, maybe I feel particularly. It's a 2/2. Like your 2-mana 2/2 should do something more than just. It's not even like it catches up on damage by buffing the thing. It just gives it haste. Like, come on.
It works so good in the rats deck or the mice deck. I mean, because it is enabler for Valiant. And it feels really gross to swing in with that 3/4 that has Valiant, and then you give it +1 in first strike. Yeah, you're just a hater.
I am a strong hater. This actually is tied though with Finch Formation. I think I lost to this a single time. Finch Formation can actually jump cards, and like if you're not paying attention and your life total is low, Finch Formation comes in and just swings for a bunch. Thankfully, because birds were so garbage, this thing just didn't see play basically ever. So you never really had to worry about the Finches coming in and dealing surprise lethal. But in like a slightly slower format, I think Finch Formation could have been more scary.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not going to complain about birds too much, but birds didn't get their justice in this set.
No, this is the format farewell. This is the time to complain.
All right, true. I hate WotC for making birds suck in this.
Yeah, me too.
All right, for me for this one, I have Splash Slasher again. I mean, I don't have to complain about it again. It's actually not really chaff, I guess. It is chaff in that essence, but it's a high play card. Yeah, it's a high pick rate though. My real chaff I lost to in this format was Tangled Tumbler.
Oh, that's a fun one.
I got overprotected. Somebody swinging in with a 6/6 tumbler, and they overprotected it to hit me for, whatever. I probably chump blocked it.
Whoa, that could put a counter on itself too, I think, right? So that's a 10/10 trampler.
Yeah, potentially. I don't think they did, but I don't know. I'll never forget myself. I had to take a break after that game.
No, yeah, that would be tilting. I'd be pretty mad.
Yeah, so my pick for the pet card was Heartfire Hero. It's that 1-mana 1/1, puts a counter on itself when it's targeted, and when it dies, deals power equal to its damage equal to its power to any target. This is like a perfect Boros' mage card. I actually think with Duskmoor coming out, there's like a turn 2 or 3 kill with this card. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Yeah, I mean, we'll be on the lookout for that, but...
Oh, wait.
There's that new ley line that's coming out.
Yeah, the new red ley line.
That copies like targeted abilities. And then they have the one that gives +3/+0. So you double that. Heartfire Hero goes up to like 8. And then there's a card that you sacrifice a creature you control, deals damage equal to its power to target opponent. And then Heartfire Hero triggers on top of that.
Yeah, that Eldraine Adventure one. So you just dome them for ease.
Fling them.
What is that, 22 or 24 damage or something?
That's crazy.
Yikes. Yeah, that sounds pretty strong. I guess it's like reliant on the ley line, but red green and like red white, like those sort of heroic decks, they were already getting to be pretty strong. So
yeah, I know. I'm curious to know how format's going to handle these new cards coming out.
Yeah.
What do you got for pet card for this set?
Oh, you already know.
I know.
you know the card I can't pass. It's Hugs. I'm gonna give him a big old hug anytime I see him. I'm like, Hugs, if I'm even touching green, get in the deck. Like,
I was gonna say, we've drafted a couple times together, like live drafts, and we'll be like maybe touching green, and Hugs comes around and Ben's like, all right, we're slamming this. And it's like right after we did the pod about splashing, and we're saying you shouldn't splash these double pip cards.
I'm in like red, white, and I see Hugs pack 3, and I'm like, boom.
Boom. No, I agree. It's a great card.
Yeah.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
Especially when you can bounce it back to hand and get those recasts off it.
Yeah, Hugs has never steered me astray, except for those couple times it's been uncastable in my hand.
All right, next we have Card Pet. So these are cards that you would, I guess, like to have as a pet in real life. This is a bit of a weird set for this one, right?
Yeah, I think we've solidly landed on the ethics of you can't have any of the sentient ones, or at least, like not the super sentient human like anthropomorphic ones. Now this does open up the elementals. Those are fine.
I think Calamity Beast. I mean, having a Calamity Beast as a pet, I think is kind of crazy, but it is what it is for this set.
Yeah.
Who did you end up going with for this one?
I bounced it around a little bit. I thought about the Viper or the cat, but I wound up with Galewind Moose because come on, just look at that guy.
You could ride it into battle.
Yeah, the cold winter winds are blowing. I love the Galewind Moose. I like what it's got going on. I feel like it'd be a pretty sick steed to ride to work, and it can't fly, but I feel like it probably if it's as fast as the wind, that'll still get me to school on time, right?
Yeah.
How about you?
For this one, I went with this. Yeah, I went with the Lynx on this one, the Sunspire Lynx. I figured, it's a cat. I also don't have to pay my heating bill come winter. Just melt my house down.
Yeah, kick your feet up, and well, what happens when the cat gets into mischief or decides to bat things around? I mean, we know how cats are.
It's
right?
literally the sun. He can do whatever he wants because I don't. Actually, a spray bottle might be more effective with the Sunspire Lynx than a normal cat.
It hates the spray bottle.
Yeah.
That would have been some pretty great flavor text for that one. So next up, we've got the Banhammer. And the Banhammer, Chaffy, is given to a card that we think the format would be better without. Is there anything you'd like seen gone from Bloomburrow?
No, and this is kind of strange. Usually there's like a card that you just hate seeing. This set felt really good, I gotta say. Nothing, even the rares, nothing really felt like a full blowout.
Yeah, I think we agree on this one. Yeah, that nothing really felt egregiously broken a la Writhing Chrysalis, and that's typically what we reserve this for. So think we're good. Good job on the balancing, except maybe for like birds and
yeah,
otters.
There's nothing too overpowered. There's definitely some underpowered things, but nothing. Yeah, like we said, there's nothing that's gonna like instantly kill you when it hits the board. Next, we got up for Chaffy for favorite vector. This is the vector you personally like best to draft. How you feeling about this one?
Builder's Talent.
Oh my god, you put a Builder's Talent.
No, I mean that's like obviously a fake vector. It is real if you believe
the hidden
hard
vector.
Enough. Yeah, sure, a hidden vector, if you will. I think raccoons I probably had the most fun in. I thought Roughshod Duo was one of my favorite cards in the set. I loved just trampling in for a bunch and then trampling in for a bunch the next turn and then trampling in for even more the turn after. And then the game ended and I got to go get lunch during the RCQ. And I think that was fun. I really enjoyed the play style of red green. Just no raccoon ralliers, not putting that trash. How about you?
God, I had a really tough time for this because I enjoyed a lot of the vectors. Mice, bats, and squirrels are arguably my favorite vectors in this format. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be mice, just because I'm a Boros mage. Seedglaive Mentor is just a really fun card to draft. There's so many ways to trigger, even like Seed Spot Squire. I could do it right now. Let's do it live draft right now. I'll do mine.
Hold your horses.
We
got 20 minutes. 20 minutes. We'll do it.
I was able to get 3 Mabels in one draft, which just felt gross.
3 Mabels.
Yeah, redundancy, but it's good.
Guaranteed turn 3 Mabel on lock.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do agree though. I loved bats as well. That's definitely top 3 for me. Maybe we should do like a tier list of this sometime. That'd
that's not a bad idea. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What about our least favorite vectors? And this could be either because you hated playing against it or you wish it was handled differently. Just something about the vector that rubbed you the wrong way.
Yeah, this was a weird one for me because usually red green's one of my favorites. I just wasn't feeling it this format. I think I hate raccoons because they mess with my garbage too much in real life for me to want to play with them.
Fair enough.
How about you?
Honestly, I think blue-red. I think it comes down to blue-red. And it's not because I dislike the Otter's vector. I liked what they were going for. I disliked that it wasn't good enough, that it didn't get there. And I don't really know what I would have done differently.
Yeah, I agree. That I actually really liked the Otters deck in the beginning of the format before people figured out it was trash. Like, it feels fun. Like, there's so many interactions and synergies within it that it on paper looks like it should play well. But for whatever reason, it just didn't work in this format.
You know, I do remember that pre-release deck that you had, which had
Yes.
Ral,
Yeah.
and I remember Shoreline Looters
Yep.
and Roughshod duos, and like that, those were just really strong red and blue cards. Maybe the issue was just the depth of the blue and red cards weren't really there that could support multiple people touching both blue and red. Whereas, like, if you look at like the 10th best green common, you probably still take it over like most blue and red cards.
Unfortunate, but yeah. Next, we have the Chaffy for cards never cast. Cards that, I don't know, maybe you drafted them, they didn't make the deck, or you just never saw them in the format.
This is upsetting for me to say, but I never saw Beza.
Oh,
Never
wow.
once. Not a single time. Understandably, because, I mean, who's passing Beza, right? Like, what are you taking over it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Season of the Burrow, the white season. Never
Hmm.
actually got to do anything with that one. Dragonhawk, the red mythic flyer. Kitsa, the blue otter. And Swords to Plowshares, which was, as you mentioned earlier, in the format. I saw most of the special guests. I did get to play with Sword of Fire and Ice twice,
Oh,
which
that's
I felt
gross.
very happy about. But no, that these other ones, a lot of these are mythics, but usually by the end of the format, I've jammed enough drafts. I'm not gonna lie, I've been kind of falling off the Bloomburrow drafting.
You know, I gotta agree. I don't think I've done a Bloomburrow draft in about a week at this point. It's just Duskmore's around the
Yeah.
corner at this point. We have spoiler season in full swing.
Yeah,
My mind's
feels
moved
like it's
on.
out.
Yeah.
Plus the Risk of Rain 2 update dropped, and
Oh my
you know.
God. I've been on my half a year Minecraft binge right now.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love jamming Minecraft every
Exactly. Yes.
7 to 8 months.
Um,
Between formats is definitely the time for that.
yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. For me, I actually didn't see a single special guest card at all, which is
Really?
strange because I feel like I at least see a handful of them. I don't think I drafted or even saw in a draft one. You know, when we did the RCQ, the person in front of me opened a Sword of Fire and Ice, but that was probably the only time I've actually seen one.
Man, I bet you're wishing those packs just got placed a little differently.
Yeah.
I believe that player went on to at least top 8 and maybe win.
They were definitely top 8. I don't think they finished first, but still a great
Yeah.
deck.
Let's wrap up our final thoughts here. First of all, it's time to usher some of these cards into the eternal Hall of Fame that is the Draft Chaff Cube. Stoatgoat is in, Starscape Cleric, Thoughtstalker Warlock, Fell, Galewind Moose, Stormcatcher Mentor, Heartfire Hero, and Shoreline Looter all made it in. They will likely remain in those beautiful 540 cards until something a little better or more vector synergistic or just more fun comes along. Particularly something like Galewind Moose. If a better flash card comes along, that's sort of to beef up the blue-green flash deck, but who can see. Also, while we're talking about the cube, this is kind of per set the time when I mentioned some updates. We had to cut some cards, which is rare because of price spikes. But there are a couple cards that I could just no longer justify as being Draft Chaff. The most heartbreaking one is Deep Cavern Bat.
I mean, this card's seeing play in like standard. It's like one of those cards that people are kind of sick of seeing already. So I unfortunately do think it has to leave this, even for that aspect.
Yeah, Kite Self Rebooter, the card that I originally cut for Deep Cavern Bat, is back in its place. Planewide Celebration, the 7 mana card from War of the Spark, I think, that like you choose 4 options. It's a green sorcery. You proliferate or make a token or return. It smells like Commander garbage. It smells like some Commander deck is playing it now, and I don't know. That was creeping up, and I cut it for a Herd Migration to see if I can seed in some 5-color nonsense. Now, one may argue that Herd Migration is not Draft Chaff. I would argue that because it costs under 25 cents, people would probably leave it behind on the table. And who's really playing Domain anymore? Everyone that wants Domain cards has Domain cards. And finally, Tamio's Safekeeping. This one I also am going to blame Commander players for. That was the 1-mana trick from Neo that gave Hexproof and Indestructible and gave 2 life for any permanent. That, I guess, was just a little too good. I had to cut it for Snakeskin Veil.
Yeah, it's already up to $3, Tamio Safekeeping. That's kind of crazy.
I mean, that's just like a bulk common. We probably have those things laying around. I also made a couple other swaps. Take Up the Shield is in. That's going to help us get some kind of funny. I mean, that and Boros Reckoner is a combo that I like to be present as a 2-card combo in the cube. Village Bellringers out. Metastatic of Angel from MH3, whenever non-token ETBs you proliferate, that screams the green-white twin deck. I don't know why I didn't have it in before, to be honest. Obsidian's Aid is out. Unburial Rites is in, but I just saw that just today they spoiled a new black-white flashback. I think the front half only costs 4 and the back half costs 6. Is that right?
Oh, I think we might be thinking of different cards then. It's black white.
Yeah,
it has flashback. Yeah,
it's like a reanimate. So
yes,
Unburial Rites I did swap in, but honestly, I'd rather have it a little cheaper on the front end, more expensive from the graveyard. So
the only issue it comes in with a finality counter now. Like I don't know if that's big enough downside to not want it.
There's ways of taking counters off.
That's true.
We could see. And Guild Summit, which is the gate payoff. That one slipped by me. I don't know how it stayed in that long. I've cut the gates months ago.
I know. I'm upset. I never got to force the gates vector before you removed them.
The thing was, I think I'd have to enter some kind of special rule. Like maybe if you draft Maze's End, you just get all 10 or something.
That feels really strong too. Yeah.
We'll
figure it out.
Well, I replaced it with Broken Concentration. That is a counterspell that you can Madness, which really is going to play into the blue self-discard, Scuttle Tide, Drake Haven, all those things that care about discarding and madnessing. I think that'll be a great card in its place. Anyway, back on the final Bloomburrow thoughts train. Got anything left to say about these adorable little guys?
I'm going to miss it, man. It's honestly been one of my favorite sets in quite a long time, not just from a draft aspect, but just from, I guess, a story, lore, art, you know? Who doesn't love anthropomorph? All right, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Animals that can walk and talk, we love.
We love them, yeah. Yeah, I would say it was fine. It was fun. Great for newer players. I might grab a box for my students if they're interested. Not something I felt myself drawn back to too much in the last couple of weeks. It did feel like we kind of got the handle on this set pretty much right away. And I do feel as though blue-white and blue-red, even though the format was very impressively balanced, and as it got later in the format, there were even some shifts in the power rankings. Black-red skipped up a bit. Blue-red skipped up a bit. Even though there were some shifting and things going around, I think blue-red spells is sort of that archetype that appeals to a lot of the enfranchised players like us, where, you know, it's fun to beat down, but sometimes you want to be the bad guy, right? You want to be like the cantripping, burn, draw 6, kill you with prowess creatures. That feels good to do. And the fact that it whiffed this set, kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and you make some good points. I think the fact that this is kind of a shorter lifespan for a set, I think Bloomburrow is the perfect set for that, since it is so kind of like vector specific. It does get stale very quickly in draft.
Yeah, great point. I'm glad we don't have this one for like 2 more months or something.
Yeah.
Now, we should turn our sights to Duskmorn. You looking forward to anything in particular?
So, a couple things. I mean, this feels like a very big... what's the word I'm looking for? Like change, you know, going from Bloomburrow to this kind of like spooky, almost modern set in like televisions and radio.
Yeah.
I got to say the artwork in this new set has been phenomenal. I am pumped for that. And it seems to be a higher power draft format compared to how Bloomburrow we're just talking about is a little newer player friendly. So I'm looking to see what kind of combos we can get popping off for Duskmorn.
Totally. Agree with the artwork. The aesthetics are incredible. I love the story. I thought the choose your own adventure story thing that went out was brilliant. A lot of fun. I'll probably get a bundle just to get some of those promos, get my hands on some packs, some cards. This is the sort of stuff where, like, if someone asks you what Magic the Gathering is, they're like, "Oh, what are you playing?" And you're like, mages, wizards, planeswalkers." And then they're like, "All right, buddy." If you show them and you're like, "Hey, this card has a cute mouse on it," or you show them and say, "This is a Goosebumps reference," or "This is a Scooby-Doo reference," or "This is a Saw reference," or that's the sort of thing that makes newer players or people that may be interested kind of like go, "Oh, what's going on?" Yeah, that's kind of cool. It looks a lot deeper in limited than Bloomburrow for sure. This is looking like a late game. There's common duels. We're going to do some nasty stuff for sure.
We're so back.
We're so back.
And you make some good points though about that. Duskmorn and Bloomburrow are great, like introductions almost. Like these are like things people will know in like the real world. And it's
Yeah.
interesting that we have foundations next. Like, I'm curious if WotC almost did this on purpose to kind of like lead people, like, this is the great migration to Magic, maybe.
Yeah, and they are going to be pushing standard with the new their new tournament series. So, I'd be happy if we have more people playing. I mean, I'm not just saying that because the more newer players there are at high level tournaments, the better our odds get. But like, I don't know, it doesn't
Ben
hurt.
just wants to crush people at pre-release.
No. Pre-release is the tournament where I will gladly scoop it up to a newer player.
Oh no, I'll crush them. You got to learn the game.
Anywho, let us know your final thoughts on Bloomburrow in Discord. Let us know if this set was everything you wanted it to be, or maybe if it whiffed a little bit for you. Let's hop into our listener question of the week from Spurlow, who asks a great question. When looking at a draft pack, do you recognize cards by their name or their art?
So I knew this answer, and it was only solidified while you were reading the draft pick a pack, whatever, at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
And you were just reading the names. I'm like, I have no idea what these cards do. I need to see the picture to know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I 100% know cards by their art first. And there's actually a good reason for this. When I was in grad school, learning how to teach people physics, I had to read a book about the neuroscience of learning. Excellent book, blanket on the title. I think I lent it to someone, so I can't even look at it right now. But I think it was called How the Brain Learns. And brains tend to learn best by seeing, experiencing, and then naming. And research has shown that naming something first and then explaining what it does is suboptimal, subpar to experiencing something and then giving it a name. So in teaching physics, it means my students observe a phenomenon before we give it a name. In Magic cards, it means that we know that there's a 2-mana deal 4 to an attacking or blocking creature that costs 1 in the white in every format. Do we need to memorize the name every single time? No. Why bother? We know what it does. We know how it works. And yeah, when a new set comes out, we study the quirks, right? We're like, oh, this one deals 3, or this one also hits tapped creatures, or this one's a sorcery. That just kind of goes with the sets. I definitely recognize things by their function. Then their art. Well, I guess the art helps you see the function. So I would say art ties me to function, and then name is the least important of those.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even read the cards anymore. I just play the cards.
Yeah. Let's jump into Teferi and Tibble. I said jump that time.
I was going to say jump, hop. What other kind of transition names can we use here? Skedaddle.
Let's slide. Let's mouse our... No, let's raccoon our...
Bird.
Let's fly on over to Teferi and Tibble. Our Roses and Thorns style segment where we discuss a high and a low from the week. Tyler, what's going on this week in your life?
So my rose this week, I love fall. I am a pumpkin spice latte girl.
Me too, dude.
Me and my wife went apple picking this weekend. We got sunflowers. We put all the pumpkin decorations up in the house.
Yeah.
And it's been like 65 and like breezy in Jersey, man. I'm living it up right now. And you just started school.
Yeah.
Living it up. Thorn for this week, though, nothing too crazy. Migraines, I don't know. They come and go. It's just been one of those weeks,
Yeah. Hopefully,
how's your week been?
Not a lot more. Pretty good. I will echo your sentiments about fall. I was just texting someone about going to get one of those. It started as like a Trader Joe's thing. I think Lidl has them now too. They're these scented broomsticks.
Oh,
that are like scented with, and they're small,
like the pine cone scent.
It's more just like fall scents.
Okay.
Like I would describe them as heavily spiced. And I saw in ShopRite all the good spice stuff is out, like all the pumpkin spice. I also am a diehard pumpkin spice aficionado. Everyone that says like it's for like babies or they're all cowards. Pumpkin spice is where it's at.
You know what's also pretty good? Starbucks has the not like we need to flex on Starbucks. They have the apple like macchiatos now, man. These like caramel apple flavors. They're like also phenomenal.
That sounds good. Oh, I meant to buy some sort of pumpkin spice flavoring for my coffee. I gotta go back to ShopRite right after this recording. Sorry, we're not live drafting anymore. Anywho, my students are great so far. This is after my first week of school. Really been enjoying the classes. Couldn't complain too much. A lot of work on my end. falling behind, losing a little sleep, but we're gonna catch up on that. Also, this weekend, some exciting Magic stuff coming up. There's a qualifier weekend for Timeless. I am qualified for the qualifier thing, so and that'll be fun. I have to jam some Timeless this week. Guess I'll play like Energy or Dark Ritual. I want to play a Thoughtseize deck because then I can just really dunk on the Omniscience Sneak and Show or Show and Tell decks. But then I could also I tried playing mono white for a little bit. That just didn't really work the way I wanted. I got some stuff to do, but we also have a really cool draft coming up on Friday.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped for this. It's actually been a while since we've done an in-paper draft together. We have a chaos draft coming up.
Yeah,
but
we don't.
Fun. Yeah, we don't usually in the chaos drafts you get to pick your packs, but I think the store's just deciding for you. So I'm curious to know how it's going to go. They said there's not going to be any repeat packs in the pod.
Wow.
Yeah. So I remember the last time we did one of these, I think people were like slamming I think it was MH2, like it was like all MH2 packs. So
yeah,
I think it's better this way.
I think so. Yeah. With that, dear listener, thanks for joining us and wishing Bloomburrow goodbye. See you later. Make sure you're in Discord as we begin to really go nuts on Duskmorn. I'm super stoked for this set. And besides just the spoilers, you can expect any other updates about pre-release or a cool deck list that we're seeing for even constructed formats. I'll be following standard once my beautiful Convoke cards enter the format. All these survival cards, I'm like, they're begging to be convoked by Night, which is quickly climbing in my list of favorite cards of all time. It's probably cracked the top 10 at this point. Also, patrons, thanks. You're the best. If you are interested in supporting what we do, this nonsense of a show on Patreon, feel free to hop on over and check that out. I said it again. You can support us on Patreon for as little as $0.25 an episode. If you'd like to give a little more than that, we'd be stoked. And be sure you check out our YouTube channel where our live drafts are still popping off. Maybe we'll put it up another. I don't know. By this point, they'll already be up. I guess you'll have seen already, but I don't know. I'm going to try to convince Tyler to do a couple more Dominaria United ones. Thanks for listening, folks, and we will see you next week. So regarding pumpkin spice.
Okay, all right, you go for it. Yeah, go for it. Pumpkin.
Oh, yeah.
This is stupid too, real quick. Hold on. I've been holding this guy. I want to show it to you. This is probably the grossest thing I've ever bought, but it tastes so good. And this is like my new addiction. I like Diet Coke. Like Diet Soda is like my jam.
Is this going to be pumpkin spice soda?
No. It's Oreo flavored Coke Zero.
Wow.
Dude, I got to say.
That is insane.
So good. Like in the weirdest way. Like it tastes like an Oreo. It's just soaked in Coke, but it's so good.
I'm trying to think about how that would even mechanically like.
I have another one. I'll bring it to you on Friday.
How'd they get all that Oreo in there?
I don't know. I think they just, you know what's like. This is Coke Zero, so there's 0 sugar, 0 calories. How do you put two of the sugariest things together? And I don't know. It's delicious.
No, absolutely no idea. I do want to rattle off some pumpkin spice thoughts though. Now that you brought this up, this is so fun fact. My girlfriend hates pumpkin spice.
I mean, that's a red flag, right?
I know. She's a candle maker. She makes these incredible. She made me one last year. It was pumpkin spiced apple candle. Oof. It was one of the best things I've ever smelt.
I'm a diehard Yankee Candle fan. We actually went to Yankee Candle over the weekend. I have it's oh god, what is it? It's pumpkin banana bread. Ooh. Phenomenal flavor. I'll bring you up one of those on Friday as well.
Oh, thanks. Actually, that reminds me. I have to bring you something on Friday. Don't let me forget. We gotta get ready for Friday. We got a big day coming up.
Yeah.
But I did buy at the store the other day these pumpkin spice Milano cookies. You know those like Milano,
yes.
like the lady.
Is it Milano ones? Brand ones too?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
the official.
Good.
The limited edition. They're pushing it. I love pumpkin spice, but these are starting to creep over that barrier where it's like it looks like just a regular one, but there's like an orange film on it, and I'm like,
ooh, okay, I guess we'll see.
But this pales in comparison to the wackiest pumpkin spice thing I ever bought. I should mention one more runner-up. I have a pumpkin spice air spray. It's like one of those aerosols you spray around. That's like whatever.
That's good.
But the best thing I ever bought was, Native body wash.
Yeah, like, they have a pumpkin spice. Well, they have Girl Scout ones too.
They have pumpkin spice body wash. And dude, let me tell you, I used it for like a year. I bought like 4 of them.
And your girlfriend hates it. I was gonna say you better not be using it
Yeah.
now.
No, she was. I was forbidden from using it when I knew I was going to be around.
Forbidden. I love fall. We went apple picking this weekend.
Yeah,
We got apple cider donuts,
nice.
like fresh, like hot, and we took a couple of them home. I put them in the toaster oven. They caramelized on the top, and
Ooh.
oh my god, dude! And then I got sparkling apple cider. I have a can of it in the fridge.
Nice.
I love apple cider. I'm super curious to know how that goes. I love fall.
Me too. You know what? Every fall, this reminds me. I have a group of friends. We go apple picking, and
yeah.
there's usually like sometimes we'll do like a haunted corn maze if we're also
Yes.
feeling up to it. Big fan of that too. Something that I had once at one of those haunted corn mazes was it was a bowl. It was sliced up apple chunks, sort of like 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch
Okay.
cubes of apple, just covered in caramel.
Yes.
Just hot, just like absolute goop caramel.
Drizzling.
Yeah, and they had freshly made apple cider, which I do make apple cider every year for my